What's going on, everybody? We're back with another edition of Thee CrazyFaceUno Podcast. Just a reminder, CrazyFaceUno is inspiring others to do good, make a difference in their local and global communities. And I'm here today with my guest. She's a very special lady. She just so happens to be my wife, and the one I love, Dana May Thel McNeeley. Welcome, Dana.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
I'm good.
So, we are here. I've been legitimately...
We are gathered here not to get married again.
She's a freak. If you cannot tell. No, but we're here. I've actually been saving this podcast with you. For like today, today is legitimately like the soonest we could have done it. Mm-hmm. And the reason, as some of you may have seen today, is I posted a picture on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us, like the page,
all of the pages,
do all that stuff,
share, like, mug.
We have some exciting news that a lot of you know.
The worst kept secret, I think, is the best way that
it's definitely...
like it was phrased. Like, the worst kept secret.
Like, if you're friends with me,
oh yeah,
you knew, because
Shane was like a leaky drum. There was
everything. Nothing. Yeah, there was nothing to like not tell. But if you like worked with Dana, it may have been like more recent news. And that's why we've been waiting. So we are. Well, let me put it this way. My wife is, she's a badass. She's a real star.
Me?
I'm very proud of her. She's been working very hard for as long as I've known her, and I'm very proud of you. I really am.
Thanks.
And you recently received a promotion.
I did at work.
Yeah, at your work. And your promotion is taking us to...
Florida!
So
we're moving. Surprise! Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, we're moving.
Worst kept secret.
Yeah, so if you're pretty close with us, you probably knew.
Unless you worked at Coloplast, then you didn't know.
And then you didn't know. And that is not any of our fault, but everybody else's. So, but yeah, so... We wanted to wait because you just told all of your like people yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we had the meeting.
Today is actually Tuesday. We're doing this podcast in the evening here.
Mm-hmm. Just got done with work.
Gonna post it tomorrow morning, tonight at midnight. Technically, I'll be posting it, but
I'll be sleeping.
I will be too. However, I will schedule it to drop tonight.
It's so much less dramatic. I kind of anticipated like a little alarm going off at like 11:45, and then you're just like, oh, I gotta post it, and just being able to like post it at midnight.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna maintain that that image in my brain because I think I would enjoy that greatly.
I'll look up.
What are you doing?
Just wait. I got it. I got this. You ready? This is really anticlimactic. Alert, alert, alert. We're moving. We're moving.
Post the podcast.
So, yeah. We've been waiting for you to tell all your people and let Coloplast make the announcement so that there wasn't any drama or anything going on
like
there.
Enough time to allow people to kind of absorb what's going on, but not enough time to freak out.
Right. And so we just wanted to talk about it today. We're gonna just kind of dive into it and kind of what this process has been for us.
Yep.
Along with, I do want to talk about just the process of being a woman and going through the process of promotion and kind of like sticking up for yourself and I know that it was your first time really having to like negotiate for your contract.
Yeah, it was awful.
And yeah, it was a little stressful and something you're not used to doing or like having to like
I don't even like to barter on vacation. Like, you go on vacation and they're like, oh, here, have this thing. And you're like, oh, how much is it? $5. And you're like, no, that's fine. Like, I don't want that. And they're, okay, well, what about $3? No, I just don't want it anymore. Like, I'm over it. I'm done with this item. I'm not trying to haggle.
You don't like the bartering stuff.
Oh, it's the worst.
So I know that was a process, and I think that it'd be interesting to talk about. And I think there's other people that either have gone through that or will go through that at some point in time.
Yeah.
Women especially. And I think that...
Girl power.
Yeah. I think it's cool. And then just talk about the process, kind of where we're at, what's taking place. We can just kind of dive into it. So let's go way back. Let's go back to like the start. And I keep trying to think because
the start.
I don't remember the specific date necessarily. You might be able to.
I don't remember the date. I could probably muscle it out by like looking at stuff, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I feel like so it was post-wedding.
Post-wedding.
It was post-honeymoon.
I mean, it was probably in August, October last year.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like September when your
September's
boss,
between those, yeah.
Yeah, your director kind of threw out the like...
So here's the dealio. This is what happened. We were in a team meeting, and it was a team meeting with all the supervisors, the managers, and our director, Morton. And
shout out to Morton if you're listening.
Morton. And he brought it up. He just said, like, hey, does anybody want to go to Florida and work at Comfort? And it was just a resounding no. Like, nobody wants to move to Florida. I mean, there's plenty of people that want to move to Florida, but that just wasn't us. Nobody wanted to really move to Florida.
Yeah.
But that's kind of when the idea started churning, if you will. Like, the idea of, like, oh, I don't necessarily have to stay in Minnesota. Like, I wasn't necessarily interested in moving to Florida, even though I'm very interested in moving to Florida now and moving to Comfort and that opportunity. But I just didn't, at that time, see that as part of my future.
Right. And that was the funny thing that's the funny thing, like, for me, right? Like,
it's like, surprise.
Well, you came home and you were, like, telling me this story about Morton kind of, like, asking this question. And I feel like the funny part is that, well, there's a few things to this, right? One, you make the money in our relationship. Like,
bring home that bacon.
Yeah, like, I joke about it on here, but, like, you do. Like, you're the breadwinner in our family, and I think that's awesome, and I have no problem with that.
Good. Because we're, like, married and stuff.
Well, of course, but I just mean, like, no, like, you are, and so, like, it's not really a matter of, like, if I was to seek something out, right? Like, it's no real secret. I don't know, maybe you guys don't know, but, like, I feel like I'm more interested in specific jobs. Like, I'm not just looking for, like, any job in my life,
and that's
right?
the thing is, like, not anything is going to make you happy.
Right.
Like, specific things will make you happy. You're a very particular individual.
Thank you for being so kind with those words.
You're welcome. You're a very particular individual, and I am not that way. I can get pleased, I am pleased by a variety of things. And...
Hi-yo.
Hey. So, sorry, Mom and Dad.
No, but, like, I just mean that, like, I've thought about, you know, like, I could see myself seeking a job in another state or another place because that's, like, a job that I'd want to work, right? But I've never really considered that, or I've never really, like, thought about that, just because you do make more money than I do, and, like, I feel like that's very important, right? Like, your job, not that you couldn't find a job somewhere else or find value, like, that you don't have value, but that, like, I've never actually, since we've been together, like, I've never really thought about, like, moving anywhere, you know?
No.
Of, like, doing that. And so my whole thing when you asked that question was I wanted to make sure that you had just processed through that. Like, I never even thought you'd be even open to the idea of moving.
Yeah, because it's not just leaving my job. Like, I love Coloplast. I've been there for almost 7 years. Yeah. August 13th, 7 year.
Yeah, good job.
I know. So I love this company. I love what I do. I love our mission. I love the values of Coloplast. Like, I love all that, but I also deeply love my family.
Right. And you've lived here your entire life.
I've lived in Minnesota my entire life. I went to school in Duluth, a whopping 2.5 hours away from my ancestral home. Like,
right.
I've always seen my life in Minnesota and with my family and with my friends here. So, yeah, even considering that idea was something that was very difficult because it was just so outside of the realm of what I always thought I would be comfortable with.
And always what I thought.
And it doesn't mean the desire wasn't there. Like, I would say that's one of my biggest regrets from college is not studying abroad. I had the flippin' program picked out. I knew how much it would cost. Like, I knew the classes that I would take, but it would push me back at least 1, if not 2 semesters.
Sure.
So I wouldn't have graduated in 4 years, so I didn't do it. And that's one of the biggest things that I regret from college.
Yeah.
So I just didn't think it was in my cards, right?
Sure.
Once you start working after college,
where were you looking at going?
Sweden.
That's kind of funny because
not Sweden, Norway.
Oh, Norway.
One of the two. I think it's Norway. Sweden.
Well, it's been a while.
I mean, it's the Nordics. It's all basically the same place.
Oh, man, just insulting everyone out there.
I can say that because I work for a Danish company. I know Danish people. It's fine. It's totally fine.
You're the worst.
I am the worst. Anyway, I just didn't think that just was never in my cards.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it never seemed like it would be a card that I would get to play.
Right. And legitimately.
And I was okay with that at the time.
Yeah, and like I never thought it would be something you'd be open to. So
No.
In our conversation, I don't know if you remember, but I just really remember being like, man, I really need to encourage her to like keep an open mind for this because I didn't think that you'd actually get behind it this time.
Yeah.
But I thought that like maybe this opens the door for us to do something in the future, you know, like if you could think about it this time. Dana, you're just like, she's not one to like make rash decisions or quick decisions.
No.
So
nope.
like I never really like
if you want to see me really panic, ask me to make a split decision.
It's true.
That I haven't made before. That's the thing. Like if I've made that split decision before, I will know exactly what to do every single time.
Right. And so that was my thing. And so like I feel like I very much not talked you into, but I was like, you need to consider this.
Oh, you didn't talk me into it. You just reminded me that I need to keep an open mind of what opportunities can come my way. Right.
Well, and that was what I remember the conversation. One of the things I had said was like, well, is there a price that you would be willing to go? You know, like,
oh yeah,
like set your price. Like, hey, this is it. Like, and if they say no, they say no, and then you're back to square one and you're right where you're at. You know, no big deal. But if they're willing to hit your desire, like, this is what I'd like to make, and this is what it would take for me to do that. If they're willing to do that, then why not? Yeah. Right. So, which I feel like was a catalyst for maybe like where we're at really right now.
Surprise.
Yeah. And so where did it go from there? Do you remember?
It didn't really go anywhere because I think I just like categorically said no at work. Morton, I love Morton dearly. Like I used to sit right outside of his office when he was our like director of consumer only. Like I sat right outside of his office. So Morton has been in my life since literally day one. I had no idea. When I first met him, I don't know if I've ever started to do the story. So when I first met Morton, I didn't realize he was like who he was. Say words? I did. I said them so fast that my mouth couldn't keep up with my brain.
Wow. That's how smart she is, guys.
Yeah. No. That's just the thing. No, the first time I met him, I didn't realize it was him. I had the phone interview. I knew what his voice sounded like, but it's always distorted over the phone, right? Everything's distorted a little bit over the phone. So
how's your voice sound now?
I mean, I don't like it. My voice sounds ridiculous, I think. I always think my voice sounds much higher than I anticipate. But right now it sounds really low because I have the earmuffs on and all that stuff. Well, the headphones. But
earmuffs, headphones.
Earmuffs, headphones, whatever. Anyway, I met Morton.
Yeah.
We talked about coffee for a hot second, and then he was gone. I used to work at Caribou, so like coffee was my jam. Coffee is still my jam. I just don't work at a coffee shop anymore, right? So I was talking to him, and then he was gone. And one of my coworkers was kind of talking to me, and then he left when I started talking to Morton as well. And afterwards, he kind of came back, which I thought was kind of strange at the time. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like throw you under the bus there." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, that was Morton." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, that was who?" "That was Morton." I'm like, "The one that's in charge of us all?"
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm glad that I didn't know who he was so that I could be more authentically myself, I guess.
Sure.
Because I remember making coffee. Like, they had the little Keurigs. They don't anymore, so good Coloplast. But they had the little Keurig machines. And
Like, everybody literally did it when they first came out.
They did, and they were great. But they also, like, burnt the coffee. And it was never my jam, so I always made coffee at home anyway, or I had a French press. And...
Push that nose up there, girl.
Oh, yeah. God, yes. 100%. No shame. Hashtag no shame.
Oh, man.
Especially during that time. When you're surrounded by coffee all day long, like, you know what's up when it comes to coffee at that point. So, yeah, that was I don't know why we got here, but that's... Morton has just always been in my life at Coloplast.
Right.
And he will continue to be in my life at Comfort.
Yes, he will. So, yeah, so then you kind of opened that door. That process started to, progress. When do you remember when you kind of got to the point where you were like, I want to pursue this, or I want to start seeing it?
It probably wasn't until, after the new year, I would say. I
don't think that's right.
I'm really bad with timelines, honestly, so I don't know. I can't even estimate really well. Like,
it was
terrible.
Around...
I can't remember.
Around Thanksgiving.
Probably.
When we had the conversation.
Yeah. I just remember the conversation was essentially, again, I don't like making decisions. I can be happy with so many things. So it was just a conversation. I was always open to the conversation. I'm always open to the conversation of promotion. I'm open to giving me more money. But it wasn't anything serious. I remember we had a conversation where it was almost like a shouty match. And eventually you were like, Dana, this is a yes or no question. Do you want to do this?
But before that, even you were going kind of back and forth. I think you opened yourself up to the idea of actually considering just seeing what it was. And so you had a conversation with your current manager.
Yeah.
And then, which kind of involved, I think, a little bit with Morton. And you guys had kind of gone back and forth just to see kind of what that might
We just had an open conversation of hey, this is what the opportunity would look like.
And then it was around Thanksgiving, I think. And that's when you're the time that you're referencing, I think. And yeah, we had just kind of gone back and forth with it. And the bottom line was, in my mind, it was, what do you want, you know? And
I kept
we knew it was Florida.
I was so wishy-washy.
Yeah, and you kind of kept going back. We knew it was Florida, and I just remember asking you point blank and directly, Dana, do you want to move to Florida?
Yeah.
Yes
and then
or no?
Cried, crying and crying, and I said, yes, I want to move to Florida. But the smallest voice, just, yes, I want to move to Florida.
Yeah.
Because it's a big deal.
Right.
In that moment, I remember feeling like I was almost betraying, my family by wanting to move away from them.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not. I'm not going to be any less close to them.
Which is an interesting feeling, and I guess I've never thought about that feeling or how you thought. I don't think you've ever told me that. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was pretty much the catalyst for where we're at now. I mean that was really the.
That was the breakthrough moment.
Yeah.
That was the point where it was this is a real opportunity. This is a real shot. This is a real thing for us to go for. And
so from that point forward, it was we'll pursue this.
We'll pursue this as long as it's viable. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily we'll pursue this and I'm 100% committed. It's no, we'll pursue this as long as it's viable. Mm-hmm. And if at any point it doesn't become viable, then we stop.
Right. So then we did that, and then things quickly started to kind of progress at that time. The conversation started to get more...
The conversation did. I'm not going to share timelines because that might be a confidential thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of hey, if everything goes according to plan, we're going to have you in Florida at this time. And I'm okay. But I wasn't... Mm-hmm. It was one of those moments where I'm it became real. I'm in this now. I'm all in this, barring, the interview process and they don't choose me and... You know, catastrophe happens and I don't know, Florida sinks like Atlantis. I don't barring catastrophe,
let's hope that doesn't happen.
I know, but it was one of those things where I'm also the person that I generally don't commit unless I know it's something I want to pursue. So I wasn't going to apply for this position unless it was something I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that was it too.
Yeah.
Like that was that moment where I kind of said to myself, hey, if this position is posted, I'm going to apply for it.
Yeah.
And that was me committing to the process and committing to the role.
Yeah. And so you applied. When did you apply? Do you remember?
It seemed like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. It's been in the
It
last
was probably
couple
like
months.
3 months ago.
Yeah, and so then that process kind of started. The job was
3 months ago, something like that.
I don't think it was quite that long, but
I'm terrible.
it was posted. You applied, and
posted. I applied. I
about
interviewed.
a month ago,
I was real jazzed.
Yeah, about a month ago, you officially signed.
Yeah.
And throughout that process, which brings us back to kind of your process of, the way you had kind of voiced that to me was kind of like bartering for your value.
Yeah, it almost felt like, I mean, this is a very, very, just not the appropriate words to use, but it was almost just like I was selling myself, like I was a prostitute almost. For those of you listening, I did a nice little shimmy in my shoulders, but it's like I'm saying this is what I'm worth as what I believe I'm worth as a person. That's kind of how I was thinking about it originally. After going through the process, I know that that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but before going through the process, that kind of is what it felt like. Like I'm saying this is, as a human, this is what I'm worth.
Right.
Which is not at all the case of that matter, right?
Sure.
It's more,
this is what I can bring to
this
your
is
company.
what I can bring
This
to your
is my
company.
value
Like, this is my value as an employee based on this experience and based on this management style, based on this type of work, based on this type of, like, I mean, I've never managed like actual big projects, but I've done like mini project management and stuff like that. So based on all this experience, this is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just an interesting time because it's this, if you want to get into like, we were talking a little bit about like, as a female, it's going to be different than as a man. Like stereotypically speaking as well.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying that all men do this and all women do this and all men feel that and all women do that. All of us are unique individuals and we feel and experience things in different ways. But when you think about the stereotype of this is how men do like negotiate contracts and this is how women negotiate contracts, like they're very different. I also think you have to approach the situation a little bit differently because we do have a different kind of relationship. I feel like it's becoming more standard nowadays, but I'm the breadwinner. I'm the female and I'm the breadwinner. Like,
well, our relationship is very much like role reversal, but
oh God,
in general, but I mean, right or I mean, there's no wrong, right? But like,
it just is.
It just is like it's just how our personalities are and like how we as a couple like just work and
I mean, you spent our like entire wedding crying. And I didn't shed a tear. I will never let you forget this. I will never let you forget this.
Throw me straight under the bus.
But I mean, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
You're
I'm very
you're
emotional.
emotional kind of person. Yeah. I'm an emotional person too, but I just had it more on lock that day. I think I was also just like, anytime I felt like I was getting close, I just thought about how expensive my makeup was. And it just pulled me back, you know? I paid a lot of money for my hair and makeup. Like, this is going to last me until the end of the night. Forever. No. But so basically it's this, like, they give you an offer. Hey, we're going to offer you X amount of money.
Yeah.
And then you counter. How it's supposed to happen is like, if there's negotiations, because sometimes there's not, right?
Right.
Sometimes they just offer you and you're just like, yeah. And that's how I kind of started my career with Coloplast, is that I thought I was going to get paid X amount. And they offered me $10,000 more than X amount. And now I'm in this awkward situation where I have to play it cool, but also accept.
Right.
So in that, no negotiation. But in this, there is.
Right.
They offered me X. I thought I was worth Y. So now I counter with Z, and then hopefully work my way back to Y.
Right.
All these letters, right? I think
she's doing math equations over here.
Yeah, which is not my strong point. Like, I was good at algebra. I was listening to Caitlin, and she's great at math, and she's great at science. I'm pretty good at both of them, but I have no passion for it. So I am terrible at both of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how we kind of went about this is I explained, like, hey, I'm worth this much because of X, Y, and Z. You know, I've been a people manager for 4 years. I've had I currently manage a team of like 13 people, 12 people, 13, 15. I don't know. They change daily. But I've managed up to like 18 people at a time.
Yeah.
Both full-time and contractors. I have 4 different teams that report in. Well, I like to say 3.5 because one team only has one person on it.
Sure.
But it's just a lot, right?
Yeah.
I've done a variety of ad hoc projects at the same time, like.
And she may not say it, but she's good at her job. She's
really I was going to say that.
Oh.
And that was the thing. That was part of the conversation when I was talking to my hiring manager. And part of that process is, I know you don't know me. Like, you don't know me. You've met me once, but you don't know me. But I'm very good at my job.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking for more money to ask for more money because I want more money. I'm asking for more money because this is what I'm worth as an employee to you.
Yeah.
I think I am worth this. I also mathed it out. So like Mom and Dad and Caitlin and John would probably all be happy because I used math in my everyday life. And it was like, well, if you did this, that means you would only have to pay me X amount of dollars more per week. Yeah. And if you think about it, I am worth this much more per week. So
Sure.
It doesn't matter how much it actually annualizes to, but
yeah, but I mean that was just, I know that was also like, it was just something that was outside of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, it was outside of my comfort zone. I still think I tried to do it in a way that was authentically me as well. So I know that we talked about this, but for people at home, how I went at it was essentially I tried to be as transparent as possible. Coloplast, we're a Danish-based company. The Danes are nothing but open and transparent, sometimes to the point of like directness, where it's a little bit like, oh God, could you just sugarcoat that a little bit? Yeah. But I think it's better. Don't sugarcoat it. Just give it to me straight. I might cry a little, but just give it to me straight, man. Right. So in that, that was the culture in work that has been fostered for me in my experience at Coloplast. So it's something that I felt very natural to do in this situation since I moved to a company that's an extension that Coloplast owns. It's an extension of Coloplast, but Coloplast owns this other company that I'm moving to. So I tried to foster it that way. Like, you know, how I presented it was like, I just want to be open and transparent with you. And this is kind of where I'm at. X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm worth. This is why I'm worth that. I know you don't know me, but I'm great at my job. Just ask my references, who are like the last 4 hiring managers like I had at Coloplast. Yeah, right. But I was just very open and honest. Like, I'm not trying to scam you guys. I am good at my job, and this is what I'm worth. And I didn't approach it. I tried to, I guess, I don't know. Sorry, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But I mean, you're supposed to go into that situation like you're cool, like you don't want it, you know, like you didn't spend the time
which
applying.
Which is kind of funny because
it.
It's like this game you almost play, which
is
interesting, but like it's a game like that's worth playing.
I played games when I was in elementary school. I don't need to play games as an adult, right? So that's how I went after it. Like, I want this job.
Yes.
I applied for this job. I want this job. I want this to work out. But I also want to make sure I do my due diligence to take care of myself as a person, right?
Yep.
You, as the hiring manager, you need to look out for the company's best interest. And that's totally fine because that is your job. That is what you were supposed to do.
Which this is a conversation we had quite a bit about.
This all the time.
Like, the company is going to always look out for the company.
As it should. That's what it needs to do. It doesn't mean it can't take into account its people. Right. But at the end of the day, the company needs to look out for the company and survive.
And your company, I've said this to a lot of our friends, but like, Coloplast is a publicly traded company. So like the repercussions are like, it affects their bottom line. It affects their stock. It affects everything. And even on a small level, but like money is money, and like that's how it works, right? And I know where you were kind of going with this is that that you're...
I'm looking out for myself. They
Yeah.
need to look out for them. That's their job. It is that person's
No one else is
job to
looking
look
out
out
for
for
you.
Coloplast. Nobody else is looking out for me, so
But
I
you.
need to look out for me.
Exactly.
So that's how I approach that situation. And
Will you go ahead and tell people what your current role is and what the role that you're going to be moving into?
Yes, my current role is the consumer engagement supervisor, which
Yeah.
means absolutely nothing other than the fact that those are just words that you string together and they sound really nice, right?
Yeah.
I manage part of a call center, essentially. I have a number of people that are on the phone. It's really interesting because when you actually talk to people that work there, it doesn't necessarily feel like a call center.
And
When
I
you
would
think about it.
I
Like, it
think
doesn't, it is a call center, like you're on the phone, but it doesn't feel like that.
I think I would push back too. It's definitely not your like...
It's not like
Whatever-
Comcast.
Right. It's not what you like think of when you think call center. And a lot of the reasons are because a lot of your people that you're calling, they require...
Yeah.
They require...
So for context, like Coloplast makes intimate healthcare items that specifically have to do with bodily fluids. So like urinary catheters and ostomy pouches are my bread and butter. I can talk about all of that all day long.
Right. And a lot of those people have prescriptions for those items. And so it's different when you're talking to these people. It's not like you're trying to sell them on something.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
something
trying to
they're
give them
already...
a TV. I'm trying to give them their medical products.
It's not like a call center like that. It's like, hey, we've
Yeah.
got this product that might help you. Would you like to try it out?
Exactly. So it's a little bit different in that sense. But we're on the phone. So
Yeah.
I manage call centers. It's not sales. Part of my role is sales, but I don't have like a commission goal or anything like that. So it's more just like support of the other sales
And your
type teams.
and your day to day is a lot of management. It really is managing
it's
your
a lot
teams.
of people management.
It's managing
Just juggling, wearing a lot of hats, understanding a variety of different roles. Because again, 4 teams.
analytics to the
I'm not great with analytics. I have a lot of good systems or PAR systems that like help me.
but I think that's something you're like growing in for sure from the sounds of things of what you've told me. But and you manage a lot of... We talk about customer service a lot, and I think that'd be fun to kind of talk about a little bit later once we get through all
I
of
have
this.
strong opinions about customer service now.
So your promotion is going to be what role?
So I'll be sales manager for new patient enrollment at
you're
Comfort
going from
Medical.
Supervisor to manager.
I'm going from supervisor to manager,
You're going
support to sales.
Sales.
Which means I do have a commission goal.
How do you feel about that?
I have really strong feelings, positive and negative, so I think I'm neutral overall. It's a new challenge. It's new. It's interesting. I've been held to metrics, to goals, but they're more dial goals. They're more of a, hey, here's this list of people that we need to call. Here's this group of people we need to call. We need to do it by X amount of time. And I can do that with my eyes closed because it's what I'm used to. I've never had a commission goal. Sales has never fascinated me before, but until I was leading people, leadership never fascinated me either. I never saw myself in leadership, and now I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
But I absolutely do see myself in leadership now. So it's one of those things where it's like I have no context for sales other than what you see like on TV and like when you're at the store or whatever, and like at Coloplast you see it as well. But I have no context for that. But I imagine it's going to be like any other challenge that once I kind of get my feet wet and get a better understanding of it, that I'll feel more comfortable with it. But it is unknown to me.
Yeah. It's a new which is
genre.
good. Like any promotion should stretch you a little bit. It
And
should
that's
challenge
the thing
you
too.
and help you
I like
grow.
being
and
challenged. I like being stretched. I like all
not
that
that
stuff.
you're not challenged enough on a daily basis as it is.
Am I
but
challenged?
this is a new challenge and a new like area of...
It's a new interesting challenge.
Yeah, it's a new like area that you can... They can turn into a strength for of yours for sure.
Not saying that I don't love my current job. I do.
I know you do. So, well, not that I haven't said it before, but congratulations.
Thanks, honey bear.
I'm very proud of you. And I think that your family and your friends and everyone that knows you should be very proud of you as well. You inspire me every day.
You're going to start crying? Oh, God. Hold my hand.
You inspire me every day. I learn so many lessons from you every day. And just you really are the backbone of our relationship, and you keep me afloat, because I am a crazy person sometimes. And but like I really do. I really think that you are an amazing woman. I think that you're doing an amazing thing, and I couldn't be more happy to go through this completely dumb, stupid, stressful experience with you, with anyone else. Like, I don't think, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be the same, but like, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. So thank you. And I'm really excited for you.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're so good with words. This reminds me of our engagement.
We're not going to talk about that today.
Okay. Next podcast.
Yeah, she will be back, guys. She'll be back. We can talk about a variety of things later, but I want to focus on kind of some of this stuff today, I think.
Yeah.
If that's okay. So that leads us to today and like kind of where we're at in this process. So since you accepted about a month ago, you signed your life away and said
Signed
yes.
my life to Florida.
Said yes to comfort. And
I'm out. I'm here for the alligators and green iguanas.
that we can
apparently
kill.
shoot on sight, which seems a little intense to me.
I know, but I need to like get something so I can shoot them.
I'm also a little bit concerned because of Chance. I don't want them to like hurt him. He's my child.
They're fast. They'll get away.
I mean,
I just want to like.
What if they take out his one good back leg? Like, he only has one back there.
It's true. He'll be all right. He's good. He'll be fine.
Mommy's boy.
But yeah, that just leads us to where we're at today and this process, which has been,
It's been a process. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
You tell me every day how just sickeningly positive I am. And sickeningly. It's just awful. I am so positive all the time, and I always look for the silver lining.
Yeah.
And it helps me get through my day, and that's just how my brain works. But I know that it sets other people off sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So for me, I'm like, yes, it was not the smoothest thing, but it could have been a lot worse.
No, and we don't even have to get into some of the like those things. It is what it is, but we've been in the process basically of it's just figuring out our life and figuring out what
all
this
last
means
weekend,
for us.
You were in Florida finding us a house.
Correct.
For our first year anniversary.
Yeah, our anniversary was on Saturday and we were not together.
You were literally looking at houses. We were deeply in contact all day because you were looking at houses and talking to me about them. But yeah, we weren't together for our 1 year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Too bad we had that cake. We didn't save the cake because it was disgusting.
Was it?
No, it was delicious. The cake was amazing. I just didn't save it. Somebody asked me at work, like, oh, did you save the cake and eat it? I'm like, no, that's disgusting. Why would I do that? I can just go to Costco and buy another cake.
Yeah, we bought our cake at Costco.
Or Sam's Club. We bought it at Sam's Club because I had to use Caitlin's card.
Yeah, Anyway. Yeah, so we've been through this process trying to figure it out. We have a relocation package that came along with your promotion. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's been a thing and trying to figure that out. We went through quite the hassle. When you officially signed it, I was like gung-ho about, all right, let's jump on, with my real estate and my property management experience. I was like, we'll find this place. We got this.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing, too, where I was just like, okay, you need to find the house. I'm sorry. Like, you have the experience.
Yeah.
You were going to find a place that we were both happy with. I'm
going
to find a hovel of a place that you're going to, like, complain about every single day.
That's possible. But anyway, yeah, we, like, I jumped on and we went through the Craigslist route in the beginning, trying to find a place to live.
The Craigslist route, man.
And legitimately, no less than, I mean, there's probably more, but some of them I just stopped responding to.
There was like 5 at least.
At least 5 different places that we had looked into, reached out to, that were basically like, they were just scams. They weren't even real properties, or they were like people just trying to get money from us.
Like, listen, boys and girls, if you try and see a place and they say, oh, you can't look at the inside, that is a scam. Like, every day of the week, that is a scam.
Right. Or don't go through a real estate agent. They're just trying to get your money.
Fun fact, in Florida, you have to go through a real estate agent.
Which is interesting because, talking with Elka and Ed, who are my two people that kind of helped me this weekend.
Shout out.
They were awesome. They were absolutely fantastic. I love them both so much. I just really value, like, quality people and, like, people that you I feel like you and I especially, and I think most people do as well, but we just, like, we know when we found somebody that's, like, a good person and we can trust them.
Yes.
And we, like, and I trusted both of them very much so this weekend. But, I've been talking to them about the process. Like, they run into different situations with, like, going to apartments. So we did look at a few apartments, and we ended up applying for an actual apartment instead of, like, a townhouse or a house or a home or, some of those different things. But
all of the above.
The apartments, sometimes they're like sometimes they don't like the fact that there's a real estate agent there because they want to, like, they don't want to give them their cut. They don't want to, like, have to share the profits with them and, like, those different things. So because we went through a relocation company, they were paid through a different service. They're like, we're just here to help him. Like, we never really ran into any of that with the apartments that we looked at, but I could tell that they were, this is a conversation. I mean, I literally got back last night at 11 o'clock, so we haven't had a whole lot of time to talk since we got back. But
yeah, because we had to, like, sleep and stuff, and then I had to go to work.
Mm-hmm. But, so, it's just an interesting process, the finding a place, again, the scam things, and I was, like, super gun shy after that, and,
oh gosh, yeah.
and it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. And
I found my apartment in Uptown on Craigslist.
Yeah, and in Minnesota, that's just what you do.
Yeah, you go on Craigslist, you go on apartments.com, you find a bunch of places, you do 1,500 showings, and you sign a lease.
Yeah, and we did.
Walk to the Starbucks down the road, which is what I did. I saw the place, and I was like, yep, walked to the Starbucks, filled everything out, signed a check, gave it over. Mine. And apparently, so at my apartment, this is a side story. So with my apartment, the one that I lived in Uptown, apparently there was a showing like an hour after I was there, and he, like, the person just, like, forgot about it, I guess. But they, like, called, and then they showed up, and then they went through, and they were going to apply as well. But they were going to do it, like, the next day, I guess. And for me, I had gone through, like...
You'd gone through a few different places.
I'd gone through a few different places, but I was also, like, the place that I liked, like, that I was going to work, and we were working with this person I was going to sublease. It fell through 2 weeks before I was supposed to move. So I'm like, 1, I need a place.
Yeah.
2, I've done this where I've waited till the next day to apply, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So I had, like, checkbook in hand. And I just walked to the Starbucks, which was, like, 2 blocks away. I filled out this application, called Darlene back.
Here you go, Darlene.
And was like, here's this check, here's everything. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I didn't even, like, there was another showing, and they said they were going to apply. So good on you for getting it in. I'm like, heck yeah, good on me for getting it in.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just a crazy world. If you want to make a lot of money out there, figure out a different way. Find out a way to help people find a place to live in a more less stressful, less dog-eat-dog, cutthroat way, because it's just a dog-eat-dog world out there, and there's 1,000 different ways to go, and none of them are right, none of them are wrong.
And well, as a person who doesn't like to make split decisions, like, how stressful is that situation? Like,
that's true.
I was
true.
like, yes, this is great. Here's the stuff.
Yeah, we were, like, new into our relationship, too. We had just started dating.
It was when you met my parents. You
That's
moved
true,
me
yeah.
from my 2-bedroom apartment that I shared with Timna and then Katie into this 1-bedroom apartment in Uptown. I was like, oh, hi, by the way, I'm Shane, Dana's boyfriend.
Yeah. And
of 1 month.
And your dad and I moved you out that day.
Yeah, you did a lot. And I don't lift things Like,
no.
that sounds so, like, pretentious and terrible. Like, I have a terrible back. Like, for the
shoe
listeners who do
fits.
not know, I throw out my back like that. Like, I shovel and I'll throw out my back. One time I tried to be nice, and I shoveled, and it was like an inch of snow, and I ended up throwing out my back. I couldn't walk straight for a month.
That's what she gets for being nice, I guess.
That was the deal, Shane McNeeley. When we bought this house, it was that I didn't do yard work, and I don't lift things.
So that's another thing. I mean, this is another part of this process. We own our own home.
Yeah, we do.
So it was, a lot
house.
of different things trying to
That
figure
was another
out.
thing. That was another reason I didn't want to leave. I love this house.
Yeah.
I love our home here. I love our neighbors.
Yeah, we really made this a home. And even though it's funny because I was talking to, we have found renters. We are going to keep our home. Friends and former coworkers of mine, and they're gonna rent it out with their 2 kids, and really pumped about that. It's just nice to know, like, you've got good people, like, staying.
Like, quality people.
But it's just funny because, like, walking through today with them and kind of pointing stuff out, I was like, oh, like, wanted to do this. This is something I wanted to do, But we never got around to it.
Yeah.
So, there's those different things, you really, like, we definitely, like, looked long-term as far as, like, what we want to do with the house and kind of, like, things we wanted to improve, things we want to fix up, things we wanted to do. Really, it is our home. It's something we feel very comfortable in. It's hard to, like, say goodbye to in some ways, but...
And we're, like, not, right? We are.
Yeah.
But it's still here.
And so, like, our plan, and with the caveat, or with the, like, side note of, we realized that we could totally fall in love and, like, love Florida and want to live there forever.
Well.
But our plan is, like, we want to keep this house. Obviously, it's in a great location. It's got great value. The value is only going to go up. And with all of that, like, we do really love this house and we don't want to get rid of it. And Minnesota's home for you. It's home to your family. And
yeah, my
it's a
family's
place
here. It's important. Unless I can convince them all to move to Florida.
Yeah, which is maybe. You never know.
Possibly.
Come to Florida, fam. What up?
I don't know. Here's the deal. Like, my least favorite weather is hot and humid, and that is what Florida weather is.
My least favorite weather is cold and shitty, and that's what we live in now. So we're like, you see, it's fine.
Opposites attract.
No, but we we've talked about it how, someday we want to have kids. We don't know what that timeline looks like now, but that's something in our
I want them to be able
future.
to have formidable memories of, like, my family. Like, they were always there, just like I did with my grandparents.
Yeah.
They were always so important to me, and, like,
Yeah.
and growing up and just having them there. Like, family has always been very integral to my life.
Sure.
So I want them to be a part of my kids' lives.
Yeah.
Our kids' lives, not just mine. Like, it would be ours.
Well, hope so.
I mean, we'll see what the mailman looks like when we get down there, okay?
Jeez. Anyway, but yeah, so, like, our long-term plan, I guess, is in some ways, like, yeah, let's go spend some time down there and eventually someday come back and raise our kids here and enjoy this part of our life. But, we always, and we've talked about it, we like, legitimately, there is the possibility of us falling in love with Florida and, like, loving it down there, and I think we have to keep an open mind, and I think we both are on the same page with that. And with
like, you're reminding me, just Dana, keep an open mind. Like, everything's fine.
It's just a caveat. I mean, I think
true.
there's always that possibility. Like,
there's always. I mean,
we never saw ourselves moving to Florida.
I believe in the impossible, so.
We never saw ourselves moving to Florida. This was never
true.
Anything we, like, ever foresaw, like, happening in our near future.
No, not at all. Like, I never thought we'd move out of state.
Right. And just, like, not foreseeing that.
I thought we'd move to Roseville. Like, that's the farthest. I thought that's what was in our future.
We clearly can't foresee where we'll be and how we'll feel about Florida.
No. Like, a year ago, we thought we were going to live in
Yeah. So our future home, hopefully, fingers crossed, if we hear confirmation, we've applied, we've got everything in, you'll be working in a city called Coral Springs.
Coral Springs, Florida.
Which
Butts
is
up to the Everglades.
like northwest of Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
Like literally like super close to the Everglades.
Mm-hmm.
And our apartment that we applied for is in Coconut Creek.
Which is right next door.
Right next door, close by. We're about a 20-minute drive from the beach, from the ocean.
So far away.
It's a little further than I wanted, but it's fine.
I mean, compared to the 24-hour drive we have now.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So far away.
You're not wrong. I was able to I finally made it on Sunday to the ocean, right before, and I called you.
Yeah.
Just kind of walked down there and spent a little time on the beach and walked around a bit, but yeah, we're excited. I mean, there is an excitement about it. There's just so much that goes into it, and without getting too much into that, I mean, it's just been quite the process of figuring out what we want to keep figuring out what we want to get rid of.
Here we are. Tomorrow, Wednesday, well, I guess the day that this is launching, is my last day at Coloplast. Before I go to make the trek south.
Mm-hmm. So we are we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
We're doing this together. We're a team.
Team McNeeley.
Boom.
Fist bump. That was a good one.
It was. Very solid.
Yeah, it was.
So,
what's next in your notes?
I didn't take any notes, Dana. So, all of my other podcasts, I generally come in, if not a few minutes before, or that morning of, before people come on the show, I usually come in and just jot things down that I think about or know about the person. And I didn't do that today. I didn't do that with you. Let me ask you this. What are you looking forward to most about moving to Florida?
It's like a split decision.
Top three.
Top three, that's a little bit easier. Food, obviously. I love seafood.
So, seafood.
I love seafood. It's an annoying little
There
gnat.
is a gnat in here. I don't know how they get in here. I literally don't know.
Gnat in here.
There is. It is so annoying.
Anyway, super interested in seafood.
Seafood.
I'm super interested in seafood. I love seafood. I love food. I love good food.
I really
so I'm
love
really
that you love that.
Seeing,
that's really a thing that we can bond over.
the only thing we have in common. I'm just kidding.
You're the worst.
I'm the worst.
You're the worst.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about my new opportunity at Comfort and being a sales manager and all the challenges that's going to come from that. And I'm interested in seeing what it's like to live in a different place. I have never lived outside of Minnesota, and something that, even stoplights are different.
It's true. Yeah.
So I only know how to do things in Minnesota.
Sure.
So, aka the right way. That's all I know. So I think it'll be interesting to just live in a different place and just experience what that culture is like. I mean, we've talked about this before. When we travel, when we went on our honeymoon, the things that I love about traveling is something that feels different than home. I am looking for culture shock when I travel. So moving to Florida, I don't know if I will have that right away, but eventually it's going to be this situation where it's not home, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get homesick. I'm going to want to come home, and that will be home. So it'll just be a different experience. And
Absolutely.
Knowing what that's like, being so far away from my family and my loved ones.
Yeah.
My friends, my built-in family. Not built-in family, I don't know what to call them. The friends that are your family,
Yeah.
So we were talking about this before where I don't think I'll be any less close with my family. I'm not going to be. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. The Thells don't do that.
It'll just look different.
It's just going to look different. And I
won't
won't be able to
say family dinner
I won't be
every
able to
couple
go to
weeks.
family dinner. I'll have spaghetti on my own or something like that. But
You never have spaghetti with your family.
We had spaghetti on Saturday. So
I
on
know
my
you did.
anniversary, my husband was in Florida, and I went to have family dinner with my family.
Just in case you didn't know, I'm her husband.
But not Andy. Anyway, so I went to family dinner, and my mom was like, oh, since this is like one of the last family dinners, like, what do you want to have? And I said, spaghetti and broccoli salad. Like, that's what I wanted to eat. So they made spaghetti.
That's so funny.
And they got broccoli salad from Sam's Club because it's so good.
That's fine. I had delicious fish.
Ugh, you're the worst.
Sorry.
Just awful. You were just awful. Anyway.
I had mahi-mahi and shrimp and...
But you didn't have the hogfish.
No, that was your jam.
I love the hogfish. That was
I already
good.
tried it.
We went to this place. I'm not going to tell you the name because, like, I don't want people to ruin it.
It's the Fish Shack.
Yeah. Google that shit.
Oh
Enjoy.
my gosh, it's so good.
Oh, it's so good. But, so when we went to visit, we were there in March. I had a business reason to be down in Florida. So we were there and we went to the Fish Shack. Shane found it. He just killed the gnat. Good job, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So he found the fish shack. We go, and as we were walking up, like 2 separate people with me and like 2 separate people with Shane independently came up to us without us asking and was like, you need to get the hogfish.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get the hogfish. Like 4 separate groups of people that have nothing to do with each other,
the hogfish is
unprompted, said the hogfish is delicious.
So
why would I get anything
Well,
else?
let me explain this. So they have like a set menu, and then they also have their called fresh catch menu, which is literally a fresh catch.
So good.
You can also, like, if you go, let's say you go fishing out in the ocean or whatever, and you catch a fish,
like, make it for you.
You can bring it in, and they will like fix it up for you. They'll fillet it, they'll fix it, they'll do all of that for you, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
And this place, I think what sets them apart, I was even talking to their waitress. I know we've been talking about this place for so long, it feels like, but it's so good. I was talking to the waitress, and they're like, why is it so good? And I was like, I have no idea, but I think it has to do with, like, they cook it to perfection. Like, they don't overcook it. They don't undercook it. It's, like, perfect
they cook
every
it
time.
Perfectly. They know what's up. Those cooks, they know what's up.
And it's, like, it's moist. It's, like, fluffy. It's, like,
The best part, other than the food, obviously, is that when you walk up, it is in the shadiest looking area.
Yeah.
There's like a little, like this, like, decrepit, like it looks like it's about to fall apart. And then you walk in, and everything like looks.
Maybe 15. Like probably 6 tables.
Everything is well kept.
Yeah, it's like 6 tables and and bar seating, and probably like 8 bar seats.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very small, very quaint, but, like, I mean, it's just so good. Mm-hmm. It's the best. And the chef, like, the guy in the back, the cook, the guy that owns it, like, I walked in there, and he's just the nicest guy. He's like, hey!
And it's such, like, a small little place.
Yeah.
Like, if you need to go to the bathroom, you literally have to walk through the kitchen.
I haven't had to do that yet, but you did.
It was great. They were like, oh, hi, do you need to use the bathroom? And I'm like, I mean, I can help you guys cook if you want, but yeah, the bathroom would be great.
I've had seafood all around the world, literally, all around the country, and I'm telling you, this tops it for me.
Oh,
it's like so good. I mean, you can do Cajun, blackened, or grilled.
I love blackened fish.
And
it's
the Cajun, I got the Cajun the last time. I got the just regular. I've tried it all.
Yeah,
it's so good. I just
now.
I'm like trying to make my way through the menu.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I want to be able to say I've tried everything.
One of everything, my friend.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you said food. That's awesome. What are you most nervous about? Top 3 things. Like, what are you?
Probably missing my family.
Family?
Like, I'm really anxious about that. I mean, we're very close. Like, we're awkwardly close. Some people have told us we're awkwardly close. I don't think we're awkwardly close, but we are very close.
You're close. Yeah, for sure.
So it's going to be weird to just, like, not have them here and not be able to just go, oh, why don't we hang out with Kayla and Andy today?
It'll be a big change for you especially.
Yeah, and I've just never moved away from the state, so I'm really anxious to know what that's like. Like, I'm both excited.
From Minnesota, you mean?
But I'm
We're not
terrified.
leaving the States.
No, I said just the state.
Mm.
There was no S at the end.
Gotcha.
I might have accidentally put an S, but just like singular. The state of Minnesota.
Gotcha.
So I'm excited for it, but I'm also extremely nervous about it because I've just I don't know what that's like. It's weird. This is what it is. I'm nervous about hating it there.
Sure.
Because again, least favorite weather, hot and humid, check. Away from my family, check.
Yeah.
Like, new and potentially scary place, check. You're not going to be there when I initially move. So I'm going down like 2 weeks before you do.
Yeah, she leaves on the 17th.
So I'm going to be like by myself for like 2 weeks.
And I'm going to be leaving.
I mean, I'll have my job, so I'll be able to do things, obviously.
Sometime between the 27th and the 29th.
But I'll have to like get an air mattress and like sleep on this air mattress.
Yeah, with your bag full of stuff.
With my like 3 bags. Let's be real, there's going to be like 75 bags full of things. One of them is going to be full of other bags.
Yeah, so our stuff is getting packed up on the 25th and 26th of the month. So Dana will be down there. She starts on the 22nd officially. So our stuff will be packed up after she leaves.
No pressure.
We've been pretty lucky with that process, and
the company's going to do it for us.
Yeah, they're packing, shipping,
insuring,
loading, shipping, and insuring all of our stuff.
Potentially even storing it.
Yeah, that's in our package if need be. Which hopefully we won't need that because we've got everything set up and we'll get approved tomorrow.
That was me knocking on wood.
I hear you. I heard you. Hello, come in. I'm just kidding.
It's telling for our listeners.
I know. So yeah, that's been a process. So I'll be there, they pack up and ship our stuff, and it's a week and a half before.
Yeah, they gave us a time frame. They were like, you need to be available to get it sometime during this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll make it work. We have it'll be good. I mean, I really like the place. Out of all the places we saw, this tops all of the places. I saw 9 properties.
You did. You saw a lot
this
of them.
weekend.
Like a champion.
Just in one day. And it was pretty evident. I mean, my real estate agents and our real estate agents and myself, like, all agreed, like, it was this apartment that we applied for.
Was it a first floor apartment?
It's a second floor. But it's only 2 floors tops. So the one view I think that we wanted would have been first floor. But it was not available till September. Which
is a little bit far.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if we ended up liking this place, we could look within like a transfer within the apartment complex, you know?
Which is much easier to move.
Yeah, still annoying, but much easier.
Still annoying, but much easier.
And then, and then hopefully we get all that approved and get that process through. But then, they ship out on the 26th, and it'll be a week and a half before everything gets there. And then I'm going to be leaving sometime after that and road tripping down, spend a couple of days with my family. I'm going to stop along the way and see some friends and people that I know along the way. So if you live in Indiana and you want to see me, Chancy Poo in the house. If you live in Indiana and you want to see me, shoot me a message. Text me, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'd love to see you as well. If you live in Nashville, I would love to see you. I want to stop in Nashville and see my friends and see people along the way. Me and Chance are going to be road tripping together.
He's a good boy.
If you live somewhere in between Nashville and Atlanta, I would like to go to Atlanta and see some friends there as well. And then I'm going to just make my way on down to Florida from there. So I'm looking at, I want to take my sweet old time. Me and Chance are going to road trip and have a gay old time. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun to like have that experience and just be able to take my time. And, I've got a lot of friends along the way, and it'll be fun to see them. So, legitimately, if you're out there and you're listening, and I would love to, if you can put me up for a night, let me know. That would be awesome. I do have a dog. If you can't put me up with my dog, that's fine. I'll sleep in my car with my dog. But yeah, then I'll show up, and hopefully around the same time that...
Show up at your house.
No, but hopefully I'll show up in Florida around the same time that we're getting our stuff.
That would be ideal. Otherwise, I have to take off work, which is not ideal.
Yeah, but they're just going to have to deal with that if that's what happens.
I know. And the thing is, they're very understanding. They know I'm relocating. They get it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it'll be good. Florida. Here's what I just did. I just looked up Best Florida Man Headlines 2019.
Oh, gosh.
So we're going to read a few Florida Man headlines.
These
if you're not familiar with Florida Man...
It's not just one person.
It's not just one person. It is just headlines. So, you know how they say, Florida Man, blah, 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 blah. So these are what these are. I'm going to read a few of the best ones that I can find here. So this one is January 2nd. Florida man doesn't get straw, attacks McDonald's employee. Florida man accused of burning son to teach him lesson about fire.
Dear God.
Oh, man. These are just so funny. This is a whole thing. You can find good Florida man stuff anytime. If you ever need a good laugh, you just need something to like laugh about, pull one of these up. Just search Florida man. This is funny because I'm on this website and it's going by date, of the Florida man ones. So every date there's
See what's on my
Florida
birthday,
man.
May 29th.
Hang on, but February 10th it says a rare day of peace. There wasn't a Florida man arrest.
There was no Florida man arrest.
All right, May 29th. Ooh, where'd it go? Oh, I don't know.
Just kidding. Nothing happened on May 29th. Apparently another rare day of peace.
Stops on March 31st.
So just kidding. Just the first 3 months. Sad day.
Florida man arrested for stealing nearly $6,000 worth of sunglasses.
Oh my gosh.
Florida man accused of attacking mom when she wouldn't dress his mannequin. Florida man shoots and kills pet zebra who did not have a permit for after animal escapes.
Oh my God.
A Florida man calls 911 to get out of his fast food shift, cops say.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. It's supposed to be reporting, right? So they can start just reporting stuff much sooner, but they can't use the name or I don't know what it is, but it's something about how the press can report things in certain states. It's different, I think.
March 18th, Florida man accused of throwing pancake batter at woman arrested.
Good.
Florida man who burned caged cat, fed it to dogs, gets no jail time.
Oh my God, that's awful. He deserves all
Florida
the jail
man
time.
accused of intentionally pressure washing his neighbor.
You're just the worst.
Oh, there's so
done
many
with
good
Florida
ones.
man.
Okay, we're done with Florida man. One more. Random.
It's not random.
February 8th. Florida man gets stuck to prepped drag strip surface at the GTR World Cup. February 7th, there was a Florida man who danced through DUI sobriety test.
That's the way to do it if you're going to do it.
Yes, indeed. Oh, man. Okay. Well.
Is that it?
I mean, do you have anything to add? Do you want to add anything? We could go on to other topics, but I feel like we've kind of exhausted Florida.
Oh, God, yes, we've exhausted Florida.
I mean, we went through Florida man stuff. I mean, this one, for instance.
We said we'd stop.
A Florida man actually punted a rabid coyote in Kissimmee, Florida. Yes. Anyway, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap things up. So, do you have anything else to add? Anything you want to tell anybody about Florida?
No. You can ask me in person.
Yeah, reach out to us. We specifically applied for and looked only at 2-bedroom places because we want to be able to host people and we want to be able to have our friends and family and people that we care about come and see us. So if you want to come visit us, we've got room, we've got space, and we'd love to have you. So please let us know. It's an open invitation to those of you that we know and those of you that we love and call friends and whatever. So reach out to us, let us know. Get a place at our place. Again, we're 20 minutes from the beach, so can't beat that. About 30 to 40 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale, and we'd love to have you. So come see us. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of our lives. Really means a lot to us. So again, do good, make a difference, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.